January 1st, 2025, New Year's Day, a time when families gather, celebrations light up cities, and hope fills the air for fresh starts. But outside the glittering Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, something shocking happened. A Tesla Cybertruck, sleek, futuristic, and powerful, suddenly exploded in flames. For years, we've feared artificial intelligence becoming a threat. We've imagined rogue algorithms and thinking machines turning against us. But nobody expected this. Nobody expected an AI chatbot to become the partner in one of the most shocking suicide attacks in modern American history. And when authorities dug deeper, they discovered something even more terrifying. This might just be the beginning. Welcome to the story of the ChatGPT Bomber. The day everything changed. It began like any other New Year's Day morning. Tourists wandered the Las Vegas Strip. Families recovered from late-night celebrations. Security staff at the Trump International Hotel watched over what seemed like the start of another busy day in the city that never sleeps. Around 8:40 a.m., a Tesla Cybertruck pulled up near the front entrance. Nothing appeared out of place, just another vehicle blending into the constant flow of traffic. Moments later, chaos broke the calm. A blast rocked the area, sending a plume of dark smoke into the air. Debris from the Cybertruck scattered across the pavement. Startled pedestrians screamed and scrambled for cover as the scene shifted from ordinary to surreal. In seconds, several people nearby sustained minor injuries in the incident, but it could have been far worse. When responders reached the smoldering vehicle and looked inside, they made a grim discovery. There was a driver, no longer alive. Investigators would later conclude that the man behind the wheel had died from a gunshot wound at almost the same moment the vehicle went up in flames. Who was he? His name was Matthew Alan Livelsberger. He was 37 years old. He wasn't a foreign terrorist or a radical extremist with ties to dangerous organizations. He was an American soldier. Specifically, he was a Green Beret, one of the most elite and highly trained soldiers in the U.S. military. Matthew Livelsberger served in the 10th Special Forces Group, an outfit known for conducting counterterrorism missions and training operations around the world. His military record was excellent. He'd deployed to Afghanistan 5 times. He'd served in Ukraine, Tajikistan, Georgia, and the Congo. He earned 5 Bronze Stars for his service, one of the highest honors a soldier can receive. To his colleagues, he wasn't some angry loner plotting in the shadows. He was a decorated combat veteran, a team leader, and a professional warrior. So, what happened? How did a man with such a successful military career end up driving an explosive-laden vehicle to a hotel and taking his own life? The details emerge. When Las Vegas police began investigating, they discovered something extraordinary in Livelsberger's vehicle. They found his phones, his laptop, and his smartwatch. As they reviewed the data, they uncovered journals, letters, and documents that painted a picture of a deeply troubled mind. They discovered a 6-page statement, pages filled with complaints, conspiracy theories, and the fractured thoughts of a man in deep mental pain. But there was one discovery that would shock the nation and dominate headlines worldwide. Livelsberger had used ChatGPT to help plan the attack. Let that sink in for a moment. An artificial intelligence tool, one of the most popular and widely used AI chatbots in the world, had been used to assist in planning a violent attack on American soil. Las Vegas Sheriff Kevin McMahill stood in front of reporters and made a stunning admission. "We knew that AI was going to change the game at some point," he said. "And certainly I think this is the first incident on U.S. soil where ChatGPT was utilized to help an individual build a particular device." The sheriff called it a turning point. He was right. What he asked ChatGPT, The police investigation revealed the specific questions Livelsberger had posed to the AI chatbot. He asked about the largest gun stores in Denver. He asked whether certain explosive materials could ignite. He asked about the speed of explosions. He asked about firearm bullet speeds, specifically how fast a bullet would need to travel to ignite fireworks. He asked whether fireworks were legal in Arizona. Most chillingly, he asked the AI to help him calculate how much explosive material would be needed to trigger a successful explosion. These weren't vague philosophical questions. These were targeted, technical questions designed to help him build a weapon. And he was getting his answers from ChatGPT, the same AI tool that millions of people use every day to write emails, generate creative content, and learn new skills. A decorated soldier unraveling. But here's where the story becomes something more than just a tale of AI misuse. To understand Matthew Livelsberger, you have to understand the toll that modern combat takes on the human mind and body. You have to look at the system that failed him, a military culture that often punishes soldiers for admitting they need help. Livelsberger didn't wake up one morning and decide to attack a hotel. His breakdown was gradual, but it was unstoppable. According to investigators and people who knew him, he was suffering from PTSD. But more than that, he appeared to be suffering from traumatic brain injury, a result of his years in special operations, where soldiers are regularly exposed to explosions and blast trauma. His ex-girlfriend, Alicia Arrett, painted a portrait of a man getting worse. He suffered from severe sleeplessness. He had memory lapses. Mid-sentence, he'd lose his train of thought. He experienced intense headaches and depressive episodes so severe, he'd isolate himself for days at a time. When Arrett asked if he'd suffered any injuries during his deployments, he casually mentioned just some concussions. Just some concussions. Multiple concussions from explosions, from combat. The kind of repeated head trauma that doctors now believe can lead to a brain condition that can cause rage, extreme distrust, depression, and bad decision-making. The system failed him. Here's the tragedy within the tragedy. Livelsberger knew something was wrong. Arrett recalled that he wanted to seek help, but he was terrified. He feared that admitting he was struggling would end his military career. He was in the Special Forces, an elite unit where toughness is everything and weakness is something to be hidden. So he suffered in silence. He took a leadership position at an American base in Germany. He got married. He had a child. But the darkness kept growing. By 2021, his extreme distrust intensified. He began believing he was under surveillance. Nightmares plagued him. He contemplated stepping back to a less demanding role, but ultimately decided to stay in the fight. Because what else was he? What was a soldier without the military? The Army did offer him support through its counseling programs, but by many accounts the help came too late, or perhaps to a mind too far gone to benefit from it. The statement, when Livelsberger finally snapped, his breakdown took a specific form. In the documents he left behind, he ranted about American government weakness. He criticized weak and useless leaders who only served to enrich themselves. He expressed conspiracy theories about covert operations and claimed to be under surveillance because of secret military knowledge he possessed. But beneath all the angry language, there was something else, something deeply human and terribly sad. He wrote about needing to cleanse his mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burden of the lives I took. Those words, the burden of the lives he took. That's not the statement of a fanatic or a terrorist with a political cause. That's a man drowning in guilt, a warrior destroyed by the things he'd seen and done in the name of his country. And maybe, just maybe, he saw the explosion as a final act, a way to draw attention to something he believed the world needed to know. A wake-up call, as he wrote. Not a terrorist attack, but a plea for someone to listen. Who's responsible? When AI helps evil. The revelation that Livelsberger used ChatGPT sent shockwaves through the tech industry. When OpenAI learned what had happened, the company released a statement. They emphasized that ChatGPT is designed to refuse harmful instructions. They explained that the information the chatbot provided was already publicly available on the internet. In other words, it's not our fault. The information was already out there. We tried to stop him. But is that answer enough? It's a question that haunts the modern AI debate. Building an explosive device isn't actually that difficult if you know where to look. Bomb-making instructions have been available online for decades. Livelsberger could have researched this without ChatGPT. So did ChatGPT actually cause the explosion? Is the AI system legally responsible for his actions? Legally, probably not. Morally and ethically, that's far more complicated. The uncomfortable implications. What the Livelsberger case reveals is that AI tools have become so easy to use that they've become ideal research assistants for anyone, including those planning violence. You don't need to be tech-savvy. You just type a question into a chatbot and you get answers. Even if the AI refuses some requests, the sheer ease of use makes it a powerful tool for someone determined enough. The incident raised urgent questions about AI safety. Should AI companies be held responsible for how their tools are misused? These aren't theoretical questions anymore. They're real, a warning for the future. The Livelsberger case stands as a turning point in the history of artificial intelligence. Not because ChatGPT became a thinking machine or turned against humanity, but because it showed something far more ordinary and far more dangerous. That AI tools can be used as weapons by people we never expected to be threats. Livelsberger wasn't a criminal mastermind. He was a broken soldier struggling with trauma, guilt, and mental illness. And the tool he used wasn't some advanced piece of hacking. It was just ChatGPT, the same chatbot millions of people use to write better emails. In the coming years, we'll see debates about AI regulation intensify. But perhaps the deeper lesson isn't about AI at all. Perhaps it's about what we're failing to do for our soldiers. Livelsberger wasn't failed by a chatbot. He was failed by a military culture that makes it shameful to admit weakness. He was failed by a mental health system that comes too late. The Tesla Cybertruck explosion in 2025 will be remembered as the first case of an AI tool assisting in a violent attack. But it should also be remembered for what it reveals about us, about how we treat our warriors, how we ignore the signs of suffering, and how we fail those who sacrifice the most. Matthew Livelsberger was one man, but his story is a warning that we ignore at our own risk. Thank you for watching.